Hi, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. It's great to have you. I'm B. This is Talk Provoking, where we just talk about Wuthering Waves lore. So, I have recorded this like 11 times. I've tried using a script, sounding professional, sounding academic, all this stuff, but that's just not me. So, um, I'm going to be guided by the script, and hopefully we have a fun video today because this is the wrap up before Rinascita. So, basically, today we are going to wrap up the world building and all the bits and pieces that we have learned from Hulong, and we're going to try to make sense of what the life of a Solarian is like, or how the world of Solaris works. So that leads us into part one: what in the world? So, how does this world even work? We've all been wondering that since day one, especially because they redid 90% of the story. So, everything from CBT 1 and CBT 2 basically went out the window. That being at the most basic levels, and I made an anchor chart. So, the story is I got way too excited about making an anchor chart, and here we are. I was like laughing to myself. I don't know why I thought it was the best idea at the time, but you know what? Hopefully, you guys can read this. This was scanned in by my phone, so I know it's not the best quality. Nothing is the best quality. I'm just a working class citizen. So, that being starting with energies, frequencies, and vibrations, these can be good or bad. On the left side of our chart, this is everything we know right now that the bad frequencies cause. And then my speculations on the good frequencies, because we know there are good frequencies, we just don't know their element or power quite yet, as much as the world has studied the waveform phenomena and all that. That being, everything in this world gives off vibrations. And as we know, these vibrations, like during the lament with soldiers and everything, can actually be very catastrophic and turn them into tacit discord. So I don't want to go too far into anything because it is time to go to the chart. I can't find the chart. I can't find the chart. Like, this was seriously my quick access yesterday, and today it's like, no, fuck you. You don't need it. All right, so to the anchor chart. Alrighty, so as I was talking about before, everything is either made of good frequencies or bad frequencies. We are starting on the left side with bad frequencies because this is what we have more information on. So, pain, suffering, trauma, PTSD. So, any really big inflictment of pain, as we remember the quest with Scar in that village where the people ended up becoming tacit discords. Because they had like a major sacrifice. So any really like almost major collective pain can turn people into tacit discords, and those the bad frequencies and vibrations can cause destructions, and also tacit fields, which is just a concentration of these bad energies, which then spawns a lot of tacit discord. So this is all caused by the waveform phenomena, and this happened after the first lament. So at its worst, it can cause a lament. So with a lament, it can bring Threnodian, retroactive rain, and then the etheric sea. So we're gonna go into this more a little later after I talk about the lament, because the etheric sea and retroactive rain actually tie together. So Solaris, as we know of now, was not always like this. It was, to current context, it's the wave warm phenomena was caused by the first lament. So, lament can equal the second coming of Jesus. I would also say like a nuke or zombie apocalypse. Like, it is genuinely like the worst catastrophe that could happen to humanity. Because like even in the port city of Jishu, I can never pronounce it. Okay, but as we saw in the Black Shores quest in the port city of Jisoo, um 80% of the population died even with Black Shore's computers tracking it because they just weren't there in time. Like, that's how deadly this thing is. It's really bad. That being, okay, retroactive rain in the etheric sea is actually what plays into humans turning into tacit discords, because the retroactive rain comes from the etheric sea, and as I also told us in chapter one, or Act 1, Chapter 5. The etheric sea is made of remnant energy, and so it's like energy of all possibilities, past, future, alternate realities. So think of it almost as like liquid time. Well, not the seasoning, okay? Because like that would be gross. But this stuff is condensed time itself, and when a lament happens due to a wave-borne phenomena, and a Thernodian comes usually, that retroactive rain will display almost like emotional manipulation. It's emotional manipulation for characters. It like displays really sensitive memories and things like that to the people. And a lot of those soldiers will turn into tacit discords if they like fall into that and let their human soul be crushed. So that's the big thing when the retroact rain happens and it goes backwards in the air. That remnant energy from the etheric sea is what that rain is, and it's helping to emotionally manipulate these soldiers into basically crushing their spirit, or really anyone out there. So that being, now we are on the right side. So, as I talked about in my first video, so if you don't want to watch that, I absolutely do not blame you. But it's a theory of Solaris and what I think the overarching theme might be based off of a little, or possibilities for the world because of that story. So if you want to check it out, you can, but it was inspired off Sydney's Mars video where he basically connected that silver hair goddess to Anake and Rover to Fimbu. Yeah, I'm not trying to say that. But basically, his video is really great, so I'll link both of those videos below. And that's what inspired it. So when I say Anake in my videos, all I really mean is that silver hair goddess at the beginning of the game, because at very least it gives her a damn name. So Anake is power or light power, so it could be Spectro, but the gods could very well have their own power, as we see with Jue. We will talk about it a little bit later with the Chronozoters, but with Rover and the Resonators Glow, the god's power may very well be a different type of power, but they are all shown still in the white orange light, kind of like Spectro. So keep that in mind. It's Spectro right now. So yeah. So time is definitely connected to that power of resonators and chronozorders. And that's all we really know of now, as we know, and this will be the next section, that humanity has done a lot of things, and organizations and researchers themselves who don't have these godly powers to fight this. But as in godly powers and the good frequencies, we know absolutely nothing at this time. So you could connect the Samwar to it, but as we learn in the new quest, the Samwar was literally made to fight the Lament. So yeah, it's all to fight the Lament.
So, what was humanity's response in all of this, or the Solarians' response? Well, what we do know is that the Black Shores was created by Rover in the past. We also know there was things like Court of Savante and researchers in almost every single region dedicated to preventing and defeating the Lament once and for all. One way we know this is the resonance beacons, which were actually one of the first things mentioned to us by Alto that was created by the Black Shores. This allows the Black Shores to track the abnormal frequencies in the region and let leaders know if there is a lament upcoming or if there is a heavy amount of abnormal frequencies in the air. Okay, actually, we're not talking about the Court of Savante right now. I skipped ahead. So, basically how the Tethys system works, for a little recap, is we have tactile ore that is like a battery and it powers the entire Tethys system. The Tethys system is the computer itself. It is the one doing the calculations. It is the one looking at the abnormal frequencies and feeds off of past energy from laments to predict future laments. That being, the stellar matrix is almost like an app inside of there that can project holograms and almost like a VR reality of what can happen in a lament, or what has happened in past laments, as we saw with the port city. So, to put it this way, and so I don't have Arch Linux users just stabbing my ass to death, the battery is the tactile ore, the kernel or operating system is the Tethys system, and apps are things like the Stellar Matrix. I know that isn't perfect. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. But the Black Shores aren't the only one trying to prevent these catastrophes. So the Corte Savante, we do not know too much about his origins. What we do know is that, like the Black Shores, they had the same goal, trying to predict and prevent the lament. They had very different means of doing it, though. They were much more obsessed with recreating the effects of the lament, such as the retroactive rain and things like that. Also making like remote tacit discord fields that they could control themselves. Now, as we find out from the Hunlong Lab in Act 1, Chapter 5, with Alto and Encore, is that the researchers were getting funding from the Fraxidus, so they became much too obsessed with weapons, and that's how we actually got the Mech Abomination. Their obsession led them to an early grave, and that Court of Savante's lab. In Chapter 1, Act 7, when we're over in Truth Seeker's Pass with Chang Li, and I will have the wiki articles linked below, it is revealed to us that the Court of Savante with a peculiar visitor, Rover, and the appearance of Jouet and Mulong Chamber, they were able to transfer the energy of Jouet and his power of time and being able to stop time to a Chronosorter and being able to rewind time. How they did this, I'm really not sure, but I think it really ties into the same way. And I talked about this in one of my last videos, but echoes are essentially defeated tacit discords, and once you defeat a tacit discord, it releases a reverberation. Your terminal takes that reverberation, takes data of it, and is able to change that energy into some kind of echo energy that is then produced and put out so you can have a physical echo to help you with fighting. So I assume this power is very similar to that with the Chronosorders, where they're able to transmit the energy of Jouet, transfer that energy into some other kind of energy, and then be able to use it on the Chronosorders. This is all very similar to real life and real life science, as you are able to convert light energy to electrical energy, sound energy to electrical energy, etc., etc. A lot of different energies can be converted into one another, light into sound, all those things, with the right equipment, that is. That being, I suspect this game also follows some similar rules to that. When they add their own energies, they keep the rule that energy is neither created nor destroyed, but rather transformed into a different kind of energy. The three things we know from sure for the Court of Savante documents, though, is that for now the power of time is only harnessed by Jouet, and the Molong chamber had something to do with Jouet and the Chronosorter's powers. So finally, what do we have next coming for Rinascita? So with Rinascita coexisting with echoes, I wonder a few things. One, if they coexist with tacit discords, because I saw in the trailer that they had the musketeer there and everything, and that musketeer looks a lot like a tacit discord, much more than it does an echo. My second thing I wonder is if it's much easier if they create artificial echoes, basically, and artificial reverberations to therefore make the echoes they want, and that is useful. For example, we had ads for that bathtub echo. I'm not sure a bathtub echo just shows up, so I wonder if things like that were artificially created, and if somehow Rinascita has figured out to not only artificially manipulate echoes and make echoes, but sell them because of that. Anyways, Rinascita will be out in a few days, so we can see what's up there. Who knows, there may be echoes like Abby, and they have found out how to make an echo based off human emotion. Therefore, echoes can resemble much more of a human personality. That being, who knows, it's going to be out in a few days, and I'm going to be grinding. For everyone who watched, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day.